Hey, it's Kyle here. Today I'll be reviewing Star Wars Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Roanhorse. Sorry if I mispronounced the author's last name. I probably did, but I apologize anyway. So basically Star Wars Resistance Reborn is set between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It's set very soon after the events of The Last Jedi. And basically the book covers how does the Resistance rebuild after it's nearly destroyed in the events of The Last Jedi and actually get to a halfway decent position by the events of The Rise of Skywalker. And, if you watch The Rise of Skywalker when it starts, the Resistance obviously is still struggling, but it's in a lot better shape than it was at the end of The Last Jedi. And this book really answers, how did they accomplish that? How did Leia gather more allies and rebuild the Resistance so it was at the point where it was able to start fighting back against the First Order again. As I mentioned, Leia, she is probably the main character in this book, and the other movie characters are all involved. It really kind of secondary main character is Poe, and Finn's really involved. Rey doesn't have a whole lot in this book. She's kind of treated as more of a background character in this book. I would say the storyline really revolves around Leia and Poe as they try to rebuild the Resistance. So I will say I really enjoyed this book. But it's probably because I really enjoyed the new movies. I think if you like the new movies, you'll really enjoy this book because it helps basically build out the world more and it kind of go into more of the background about what happened and how the Resistance is regrouping and getting ready to fight the First Order, and how the Star Wars universe is reacting to the First Order, and the cracks that are beginning to appear in the First Order's rule that lead to a larger rebellion against their domination of the universe. But I will say, if you did not like the new movies, if you're not a fan of The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, I do not think you'll enjoy this book, because this plot really is built very, very closely to the movies. It's completely tied on the movies. This book doesn't really work as a standalone book if you haven't really, if you've never seen the movies and you just read this book, I'm not sure how well this book would actually work. It's very, very connected and tied in with the events of the movie. So if you don't enjoy the movies, I don't think you'll enjoy this book. It's not saying anything bad about this author. I think this author did a great job writing this book, but she was given a very specific task, bridge the gap between Episode 8 and Episode 9. So if you didn't enjoy Episode 8 and Episode 9, you're just not going to enjoy the gap bridger, basically. But if you enjoyed those movies, I think you'll really enjoy this book. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. One part I will say I really enjoyed, Wedge Antilles is a major character in the book. I've always loved Wedge, from the original movies to a lot of the old, now Legends book Star Wars, where Wedge was a major character. I've always really had a soft spot in my heart for Wedge. He's always been one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I've really always enjoyed him a lot. So I was very happy to see him get a kind of prominent spot in this book, basically. So anyway, again, if you enjoyed the new movies, I would really recommend Star Wars Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Roanhorse. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name. This was her first Star Wars book. I thought she did an excellent job with it, and I hope she will be writing some more Star Wars books in the future. So anyway, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy reading. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you the next time.